Okay.
Senegal fast
Manu
food.
Chao.
No, it's Manu Chao produced.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, but it's Amadou and Miriam, Senegal fast food.
From Mali, yeah.
1,000, Alex.
I always thought this was a Manu Chao, like straight up Manu
Well,
Chao
because he
track.
produced it. He produced
Yeah.
it.
And he's the co-writer on the song,
Yeah.
too.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this
It's a
track.
real Manu Chao song. Like,
For sure.
But Amadou
Yeah.
and Miriam sound wonderful in it,
Oh.
too.
Oh, amazing.
It's a,
Talk about a versatile artist.
I was hoping I could fool you with that one because I was like, okay, I want to put a Manu Chao because I know how much you love Manu
Yeah,
Chao,
yeah.
but I'm like, I'm not going to put one of his albums. Like,
Straight up,
you'll
yeah.
know Clandestino in an instant.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I knew he worked with Amadou and Miriam,
Yeah.
the wonderful couple from Mali,
Yeah.
who I've seen a few times, and they're just fantastic. So I thought it was an interesting pairing, and so the album, the song, of course, as you guessed, Senegal Fast Food. It was a 2005 album, Dimanche à Bamako, produced by Manu Chao, but he's all over the album. He's
is.
playing guitar, he's singing, he's
Yeah.
writing a bunch of the songs. So talk about this pairing of Manu Chao, who's obviously Spanish influenced, but he's just one of the superstars in the world music scene.
For sure.
Amadou and Miriam, very much Malian sounding couple.
Yeah.
This marriage of this pairing.
I love that record. It's so good. And I love Manu Chao's production, not only in this, but in Clandestino and other records he's done. And especially Clandestino, I wouldn't be surprised if he approached it the same way Hidalgo did with the Latin Playboys. Like, I'm sure a lot of that stuff was recorded on the dictaphone, and then, other layers were added in the studio.
He likes these ambient sounds.
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Street
Using
sounds, right?
Forks
Yeah.
for percussion.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. It's a great idea. But I also love just hearing all the different languages. And as a French speaker myself, it's really interesting for me to hear French music, French speaking or French singing in a track that is not French. To hear that with the African percussion and then, Portuguese and Spanish kind of sounds and instruments, I just think it is such a beautiful marriage of cultures.
Yeah, well, Manu Chao is really a world citizen. Like, he sounds comfortable singing all his languages, French,
Yeah.
English, Spanish, Portuguese.
Yeah. Well, I think that's something really interesting about all the, kids raised in Europe, how it's not uncommon for them to speak 3 to 5 languages
All fluently.
flawlessly,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And not have an accent in any of them. So I think there's something really special, as you always say, about hearing someone sing in their mother tongue.
100%.
But with, someone like Manu Chao, every language is a mother tongue
Sounds
for
natural,
him.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to do the album together.
That's right.
Clandestino.
We still will.
We have to do it. It was
Yeah.
one of those shelved projects from COVID where
shelf,
we
yeah.
were going to do that for Jazz Festival
Yeah.
this year together on this stage.
I know, it would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So it's still in there, Tom. We're going to do it.
We'll do it.
Great.
For those of you at home listening, we're intend to take on the Clandestino record by Manu Chao with Locarno as the band, and we're going to do it from beginning to end. And so we'll do that when
Get some special guests.
situation allows for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
After the Passion.
From the high How Are You Today album. Yeah. Wait for it.
Play this one for you, Kalissa.
Done.
I wondered, like,
I love it.
isn't it fun? Oh my
So
God.
good.
This reminds me so much of that period of time in the 90s where like Celtic met rock for the first time and it just exploded. And I remember seeing Ashley McIsaac. I was a pretty young kid and I couldn't go into any of the shows because they were all at bars. But back in the day in Victoria, I was born and raised in Victoria, so we would go to Legends, which had like really cool kind of wooden seating. It was almost like a little.
I remember Legends.
Yeah.
I'm a
Legends is a great
UVic
bar.
grad, so yeah.
Oh yeah, perfect.
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you'd know Legends, but we got to go up. My older sister and I, who was also underage, we went up and watched the sound check, and Ashley was so sweet with us. Oh, you guys play fiddle? That's great, you know. But from that time onwards, I was just like super gung-ho about fiddle, and he was a huge influence. Him and Natalie McMaster. But I always wanted to play, you know, Devil in the Kitchen as fast as he could, you know. So that was a big thing.
Oh, it's Devil in the Kitchen,
Yeah.
which I think describes Ashley McIsaac really well.
The nail on the head.
Watch the old video from 1995. It's very much of the time, but it's pretty fun. It's just high octane.
Oh, for sure.
And I was looking for some, I mean, it was his most commercially and critically successful album. Hi, How Are You Today? It won the Juno Award for Roots and Traditional Album of the Year. This review from AllMusic that it's like a Celtic Mahavishnu orchestra. Other times it's dyed-in-the-wool traditional. So
Yep.
he goes between the two worlds really seamlessly, I
Yep.
think.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure to see Ashley McIsaac and present him at the KMEEK not that long
Nice.
ago. I wanted to play it because we've been focusing on your Latin, Mexican roots.
Yeah.
But Paperboys is like, you guys have been, had the Paperboys going since 1991.
Was
I
it
can't
20?
believe like you were like 10 years old when you started the band. Like,
Yeah.
were you born?
Yeah, I was born and that was, yeah. No, started when I was about 19, I think. 18,
So
19.
you were really
Yeah.
young. But
So I've
were
been
you
doing that band
influenced
now for-
by this stuff?
Yeah, maybe Celtic music and Irish music as a genre. Ashley maybe not as much, but he was part. We were in a way kind of contemporaries. We came up at the same time in the mid to late '90s, and his success was a lot bigger than ours. But we came up together and did a number of shows together back in the day. I would say in terms of Celtic music, my biggest influence was Spirit of the West.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing with Jeffrey now for 20 years, who's
Yeah,
the
yes, of
other
course.
founding member of Spirit of the West. We brought him in to produce our first record, and then we made a second record, and we had a few festivals lined up, Edmonton Folk Festival being one of them. And our flute player had left the band, and I called him to see if he knew of any of the other flute players. And he said, "Oh, what festivals are you looking to do?" And I told him, and he goes, "Well, you know, I'm not busy the weekend of Edmonton," because he loves the Edmonton Folk Festival. That's his favorite thing. That was in 1998. So he signed up to do 2 or 3 festivals that summer and has never left, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Paperboys are one of our first folk and roots shows
That's
on
right.
this stage.
Yeah.
Back in 1998.
Yeah. Is that when Celso sat in with us?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it
I remember
was.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so you've had a phenomenal run with Paperboys, with Locarno. Like, you guys managed 2 really full-time bands, as well
Yeah.
as the BC World Music Collective,
Yeah.
That's right.
and your
Yeah.
own agency.
Yeah.
Your Vancouver musical power couple.
She's all the power.
Oh, well.
And raising 2 kids.
And you're
while
raising
doing
2
it. Yeah.
kids. And yeah, life
We're
partners and musical partners. You're
blessed
used
with
to
a
being
very
together
full life.
24/7 though, right?
Yeah. No, that's something that,
Like COVID has pushed a lot of people together, you know, under the same roof.
yeah.
But you guys are used to being together.
No, we're totally prepared for our
Yeah.
current COVID life. And I think it's really, we're really lucky to have found each other. But also, you know, we did so much touring early on before we were a couple, and learned that we travel well together. We like to eat the same way at restaurants and like get 50 things and have a little bit of everything. We like the same, all the same kind of amenities and just all those little things that you learn. But this was before we were a couple, and just became really, really great friends. And then touring so much in the band, it really is a family atmosphere, you know. And I always joke with Jeffrey, he's like Juno's grandpa, you know, and he's really taken on that role, he and his wife Allie. And it really is that kind of family atmosphere that we're spending day in, day out with the same group of people for months on end sometimes. And then when we go home, we're together as well. And so we're really lucky that we do get along so well that we're able to do that and not, kill each other. But no, I think we're really kind of simpatico in a lot of the ways that we do things, and including raising our babies and running a number of bands.
So I want to ask the question that everyone wants to know is how you two met.
I feel like this is TMZ or something.
Yeah. You go. I talk too much.
No, you do great talking. We met through a producer friend of ours in Victoria. His name's Joby Baker. I had recorded a fiddle album. I was going on tour and just wanted to have kind of a little snapshot album of some tunes. So I did a recording with him, and a few months later, Tom was in his studio recording in Joby's studio recording the Paperboys album Kalissa. And at that time, their then current fiddle player, Kendall Carson, was kind of in and out of the band. She was working a lot with Chip Taylor at the time and doing kind of her own gigs and tours and all of that, and wasn't able to make a lot of the dates.
And so Joby arranged for us to get in touch. I was going to drop off some music for her and see if she could do a gig.
He gave me a stack of 10 CDs and said, "Okay, well, we'll see you in a couple weeks, and here's all the material." And so I went through. Whoa. I learned like 10 albums worth of material. Which,
wow.
Yeah, I didn't need to do that apparently.
Kalissa has an unbelievable ear. Like when she picks up things by ear, and she can learn things like this. Like it's really quite a gift. And but I don't doubt that it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. I locked myself in my room and with my CD player.
Yeah, but that's how we met.
Yep.
And then I hired her for the gig.
So it was a musical match.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember having that first rehearsal, and you turned to Jeffrey and you went, "So what do you think?" He goes, "Yeah, I think it's gonna work." And and he took me back to the ferry, and I went back to Victoria and met up a few days later for the first gig, and it seemed really easy and natural right from the get-go.
Are you guys missing the road?
Yes and no.
Not yet. I mean, yes, of course, we miss playing to people. When COVID first started, we sprung into action right away and started doing live streams. And we did these, what we call the slipper sessions from our house. Mm-hmm. And we streamed a live one song every day.
Because you were wearing your slippers.
Because we were wearing our slippers, yeah. It was the obvious name, maybe not the most original name, but it kind of suited what we were doing. But we did a song every day, and it really, sort of the thing that the takeaway for me the most is that we created this little community within our community of people that were tuning in every day to see what we were going to play. Mm-hmm. And we did a bunch of our own songs, but we also learned a bunch of covers and, did a bunch of John Prine tunes and Neil Young tunes and just fun things that we wanted to do. And but people were really tuning in, so we would do a song every day, and on the weekend we would do a live concert, like a 1-hour stream. Mm-hmm. And we did up to 60 plus of those.
Wow.
And then we said,
consecutively,
okay, we're going to take a little break from that. And then we took a break for the summer. And honestly, we've had all this time with our kids, and we've gone camping a lot. I do this thing called the 20 Lake Challenge every year, where I go and jump in 20 different lakes and swim in them. And so I'm at Lake 22 or 23 right now. And so
you're over the 20.
I'm over the 20, because I had the time to do it. So
usually it's like in between festivals, or like, we're going from Slocan to Smithers, and we've got 2 days to get there, and so we're trying to find lakes on the way, and or jumping into a lake after a gig, and then before driving home, So this way it's much easier to kind of allow ourselves the time to go and research, okay, well, which are the ones that we really want to go to, and kind of make that the trip.
So
right?
We've really, to answer your question, we've really enjoyed the time we've had this summer and the things that we've done, like home projects and whatnot. And so I do miss gigging and touring in the road, but I will really miss it come the fall. Yeah. And I'll just be really itching to play again. Yeah. So this has been a nice respite, a nice break, and it's my first summer off for me in 27 years. Yeah. So it's nice to take some time off, but I will definitely miss it. And I miss the people. And I miss my band members, and I miss the hang, and
I miss all that. I miss the energy of the crowds too. I miss the being away and being already in that environment, and that kind of that special, exciting feeling of being away from home with your best friends and having a great show, you know, and a great night and meeting new people and trying new foods and just, you know, living a really, really fortunate, exciting life, right? So it's, yeah, we're really lucky, but
We're blessed for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Well, so great to see you both.
Well, thank you for having us. This is fun.
Wishing you guys continued success and hope to see you on a stage sometime real soon.
Yeah.
Can we come back and do a music trivia with you? And we play the tunes and you got to guess them? Part 2? Yeah?
I bet Fiona would be great at
I
that.
have not been challenged to a blindfold.
We'll do a blindfold the other way around.
I love
All right, well, I'll have a think on that.
Okay.
Get back to you.
it. Thanks, Fiona.
All right.
These past few months since I arrived, I've been speaking to the sea, and the waves at night wake me from dreams that keep coming back to me. And in the light of day, wonder if I'll stay, 'cause I keep moving, trying to heal the scars, and people circle around me like an orbit around the star. And I've held on to your memory like a locket on a chest. And all the times when you held my hand, and all the times that you left, can I peacefully lie down in the silent town? 'Cause I keep moving, trying to heal the scars. People circle around me like an orbit around a star. I roamed around, but I never found my place in the sun. And I can love without being loved, 'cause I don't belong to anyone. Sometimes there are days when I can see me stay, 'cause I keep moving, trying to heal the scars. And people circle around me like an orbit around the star. 'Cause I keep moving, trying to heal the scars. People circle around me like an orbit around the star. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm.